of Council Operations.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Sioux Falls City Council. I just wanted to touch a little bit on tonight's 7 o'clock meeting. As we were visiting right before this meeting started, there are 3 items on the regular agenda. 2 of them, I think, are fairly simple and straightforward, and of course the third is the budget adoption by resolution. And we'll continue on in our practice where we have the administrating department come up and speak to each of those regular agenda items, and then we'll take the public testimony, if there is any. And then you'll do the motion, which there may be, and then you'll do the motion in the second. And at that point in time, unless you ask questions of the audience, they aren't allowed to come up by ordinance. But you can ask questions, so please, if you want to offer that, you certainly can. And then once you do that motion and second on that main motion, which is the budget item itself, which is the last item on your agenda, item number 14, then you can begin to introduce your amendments. And for the public, those are online, and also the main sponsor, the lead sponsor, is the first name in that. It will say, like, Amendment A, for example. A motion to amend the main motion was made by Councilmember Anderson and seconded by. So I need you to say, I, Councilmember Anderson, make a motion to introduce, and you're going to read all of that, and except for the words in red, of course. And then you look for your second. And as we met in those, we had 3 working sessions for the public who are listening. We already had people who offered up to be that second, and your name is written there in italics. And then again, when you make that motion, and let's say Amendment A would be adopted tonight, then when you go back to vote on the main motion, you'll vote on the main motion as amended by those amendments that have already been adopted by council, so that you'll incorporate those into that main motion. Otherwise, it's fairly straightforward. We do have, instead of having the assistant city clerk read the amendment, we usually have the sponsor read their amendment into the record because you're making the motion to amend. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Councilor Aguilar.
Yes, so the resolution is to adopt both? We don't adopt them separately?
You'll vote on each amendment separately.
No, I guess I'm talking about the budgets themselves. They're the operating and the capital?
Yes.
They aren't done separately, they're done in one resolution?
Yes, they are. We changed that out a few years back. We used to adopt the capital budget in August, and then the operating in this first part of September, and then we joined them at the appropriation ordinance in October, and there's just been a change. We had a change in charter to allow us to do that. You still could go back, but I think the council has liked it, all adopting the resolutions, if you will, all in one for all of the city budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Deborah? Deborah, you'll be here tonight
I will be here tonight.
to keep us in line.
It'll be lots of fun.
Councilor Jameson,
Yes, Councilor Rolfing.
this will be our last chance to add any amendments at all to either one of the budgets.
Yes.
You're sure?
Well,
It depends.
I think there is another way, but right when we do the appropriations, you could.
You could possibly amend the appropriations ordinance. Usually we don't. I think we've done it once in the last 20 years, and that was primarily because there was a mix-up in the person who voted no on the amendment on the resolution was confused, and actually they would have had the votes to adopt it. So it was just to correct misunderstanding. Otherwise, we generally don't do that, but you could. You could.
Thank you.
Councilor Intiman.
So I just want to make sure that you will help guide us simple folks, correct?
You bet.
Through the process.
You bet.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And as well for the mayor. The mayor, I know, is, no. But it'll be a handful for the mayor to keep track of the conversation and the flow. And I think if I could speak for the group, generally we will follow the Roberts Rules of Order. But if there is something that kind of comes up, don't be afraid to say, wait a minute, can we talk about this? I'm not sure if that's right. But, we'd want to try to stay in order, but don't feel like you can't say something and ask a question, because we're all regular nice people, I think, and we'll work through it. Any other questions for the city clerk? Seeing none, Well, move on to Mayor Huther. Welcome.
Thank you, Councilor Jameson. Good to be here. I just wanted to reiterate to the people of Sioux Falls that this city council and these department heads, and yes, even myself, we spent a lot of time really trying to be as prudent and as thoughtful as we could in terms of this budget process. But I am ready for it to end. I am, so I'm looking forward to tonight. So I'd urge people of Sioux Falls, whatever has caffeine in it tonight, whether it's Mountain Dew, iced tea, strong coffee, get it along with some popcorn, and truly enjoy your city government at work tonight. I know that there's a potential to be maybe some disagreement, but I think that makes the process even stronger. Ultimately, whether it's disagreement or conflict or whatever it would be, you're just trying to work through this government process as it's established, and you can pick on it all day long, but it's still one of the finest city governments, I think, in the country. So have fun, Sioux Falls, and please lead us through this tonight. All of you city councilors who have some experience, and I'm looking forward to an interesting evening. Thank you.
Any questions for the mayor? Any questions for the mayor?
I'm drinking Diet Mountain Dew.
Traditionally, we say to bring a pillow, too.
All right, very good. We'll move on to our committee reports. We'll start with the audit committee, which we are going to be meeting here on the 21st at 4 p.m. That'll be the next audit committee meeting, if you want to mark your calendars. Otherwise, no other report. Any questions on that one? Next, we'll move on to our fiscal committee.
We had 3 issues we took care of last week. Budget transfers. A number of you were here for that meeting, and as you know, that will go before the full council, so stay tuned for that. We talked about the TIF district for the Schoenemann's property that CNA is going to develop. You'll be hearing more on that. And then we also talked about restructuring and reorganizing the audit committee a bit, providing a majority of the council members on it, which was suggested by legislative research or legislative audit when we first got their recommendations. So you'll be hearing more about that as well.
Any questions of Councilor Brown? Okay, very good. We'll move on to the land use committee meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. They say no news is good news, so to that end, I have no report.
Okay, any questions on that? How about public services, Mr. Anderson?
No report at this time.
All right, city council open discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Councilor Litz, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like the council and the general public to know that I have been sporting pink for the last couple of weeks, and I've been taking some hits from some of the more macho members of the city council, and I just like to explain the reason why. Is on the 26th of this month, the Susan G. Komen Race Against Breast Cancer is going to take place down in Vermilion, South Dakota, and I'm wearing pink to bring attention to that. So I wanted to explain that to this council and, like I say, the general public, in the interest of drawing attention to this very important idea.
Very good. Councilor Aguilar.
And the more female members of this council would like to commend Councilor Litz for having the stamina and wherewithal to wear pink.
Thank you, Councilor.
Councilor Rippenbach.
I'm not going to keep going on the pink thing. I wanted to bring something up that has been a wonderful gift to our Parks and Recreation Department. In the passing of one of our community leaders, Roy Nyberg, a memorial was set up specifically to add to funding for the Greenway system because that was a passion of Roy's, but it also would be an opportunity for those folks who feel the need to, or know of the need in Sioux Falls for improved park system. There is a way to make a tax-deductible donation to the park system through the community foundation. So I'd invite you to be part of that. If you knew Roy, you know what his passions were, and I would invite you to be part of that memorial giving. And we offer our sympathies to the Nyberg family as well.
Yes, very good. Councilor Litz.
Yes, I read that also, and I know Kevin, and I agree with what you said. And something along those lines. A while back, we lost another member of the community, Dale Weir. And this weekend, the reason I'm bringing this up is him and Dorothy also made a significant contribution to this community in the form of the Arrowhead Park. And this last weekend, I took my mother out there, and we walked around. And if you haven't been out there recently, you really ought to go, because it's something to see. The prairie grasses are coming back, the quarries are full, the aerators, and the fish will come up and look at you, and the waterfowl will come out and let you know that you're in their territory. So it's just an amazing little park. So.
You know, if I could just add to that, then across the road, perfect segue, across the road is the new Arboretum, which the groundbreaking is tomorrow at 11:30, Tuesday, and that project will be coming to fruition now. So great things going on with parks in Sioux Falls.
They really are. They really are, Councilor.
Councilor Entman.
It was a very busy weekend this past weekend in the city of Sioux Falls with German Fest downtown, with the Sidewalk Arts Festival, but also I had an opportunity to volunteer and help with the Sioux Falls Marathon, and that was the first marathon sponsored by the Sports Authority. As a member of the Sports Authority, we're hopeful that that event will continue to be a very strong event for us and one of those signature events of the city of Sioux Falls. We had, I believe, just under 300 people participate in the full marathon, and the gentleman that won did like 2 hours and 34 seconds on the marathon. I mean, he was really clicking. It was unbelievable what he was doing. So it was very good. We had a lot of folks. I think we had just about 2,000 people in the half marathon. So it was a great event and went off without a hitch, and the weather was absolutely perfect all weekend.
Councilor Rolfing.
I'm interested to know how Jim did.
I was there on the stage handing out certificates representing the city and the Sports Authority.
Good. All right, anything else, I guess? Seeing none,
Mr. Chair, one more thing. Along with what Councilor Rolfing was saying, I had agreed to represent the city at the German Fest, reading a proclamation, and on the way down there, I found out that the county had obviously torn up some streets here, and I was a little bit late. And I'm here to tell you that in Germany, the trains start on time, and I'd like to thank Evan Nolte for covering for me. And then the next morning, the Sunday morning, I came back and I drove across the bridge by the railroad deal, and I came to downtown, and of course I was held up there, so I just shut my truck off and watched the runners run by. I didn't see you, Jim, but
No, I know.
it was pretty cool to see everybody. That was a lot of people going through downtown and seeing the different runners and the different style, and what a community we live in. I mean, there was, like you said, Rex, there was just all sorts of things to do down here, and Dee Knutson, we miss you, but obviously today we're doing quite well without you. So.
Okay, very good. I guess if I don't say anything else, we'll call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.